All right, what's going on, everybody? Really excited to be here. I was trying to finish up this little Godot project I'm working on so that it could work during stream, but hey, you know, you do what you do. You do what you can. I didn't quite do it, but let me just make sure this is working here before we get started. Also, if you haven't seen, to submit your questions to be answered in the stream, there should be a link in the description of this below. Hopefully, it looks like the quality's terrible on my end. Can anyone confirm how's the quality looking? Let's see. Oh no, it looks fine. Okay, cool. All right, now, hopefully, if someone puts something in chat real quick, so I'll do it. I'll be the brave soul. It should pop up here on the screen, because this is all made in Godot, and I'm going to get to the Q&A, so I apologize. Let's make sure if I go here to edit. Yeah, so you can see that the link for the question submissions is in there. Please do that. If you just want to throw it in the chat, I'll try and be aware of that too. I'm giving priority to anyone who's here, because I find that that's the best thing, to be able to like chat it out with you and kind of solve that together. Okay, so this is currently not reading that. Oh, that's because I didn't start it. Okay. There we go. Okay, and then it should read the chat in a second. Hey! Oh, hell yeah, that's so sick. Okay, so I'm gonna keep that as is right now. The animation system is not working. Eventually that's gonna have like experience and stuff. Also, for some reason, and this keeps happening to me, I have a thing open on here that's supposed to show me the chat, but for some reason, there you go. For some reason, it's not, wasn't updating, but now it should be updating. Now I should be able to see everything. Yeah, thanks, man. It's all open source. I need to push a lot of changes to GitHub, but yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead. There's a lot more I want to do with it. Essentially, this is gonna go over here, and now you can't see it on my end, but I can still use it. But anyway, yeah, so the stream is not about that. This is eventually supposed to have it so that when you chat, you gain experience, you can level up, and then you can like customize your character and get like special privileges and stuff like that. I thought it'd be cool to kind of like integrate that in my live streams. But anyway, so you can see here's the chat right down here. That's fine. Oh, but it is keeping track of your XP correctly. It's just not displaying it correctly. So, you know, just be aware of that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and make a new desktop and we'll get into everything real quick. All right, so I want to go to Godot. No, actually, I'll just open up. Also, everything we work on today is going to be displayed. Yeah, man. Everything we work on today should be in the description, is also on a GitHub repo with all of the Q&A answers. So like if I answer your question, you can go ahead and do that. Also, when you ask your question, if you have a GitHub repo you want me to like look at and see like, why is this thing not working, I can give that a shot. Although I'm trying to limit the like answer times to like 20 to 40 minutes at maximum. Okay, let's go here. And then we've got, I think it's in tutorial projects. Nope. Where is it? I think it's testing. Yep, testing grounds. Am I dumb? Like where? There it is, project.godot. Okay. Cool, okay. So this is our beautiful, beautiful Q&A folder. Let's open up GitHub here. So I'll push this right now. So this is gonna be cool. There's too much I haven't pushed in so long because I've just been ripping it. And then, oh wait, when is that happening? Okay, fetch it. Sure, I think it's just pull origin, push origin. Beautiful, okay. I love me a GUI. All right, so now we're gonna go to QA sessions, view the FL. See if we got anything. Looking good. Okay, so again, everything we're going to do here, and as you can see, all the past QA sessions. And now we can go ahead and make a new one. Hell yeah. Okay. And let me know if it's working. Like, also, they should be popping up there in real time. That's the idea, because I want to make like actual games with it. Okay, so new folder, and then we're gonna say QA session. This is 8. And it is November 13th. 21, baby, not for long. Okay, cool. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and pop open this here. So this should have, oh, there we go. We got some stuff coming in. Beautiful. All right, I guess I'll start with some easy, just like talk about it, make sure I got people in here, because a few people did ask some of those I saw, and then Ocnikos did. Do you like Python? Any thoughts on how similar GDScript is to Python? We should actually do this. Whenever it adds them from a Google form, it breaks the wrapping. So I'm going to wrap it so that we can read. Okay. Do you like Python? Any thoughts on how similar GDScript is to Python? Should it even be more similar or less similar? I love GDScript. I learned Python and then learned GDScript. And I learned Python in like 3 months, so I kind of got it. And then I honestly know GDScript better than Python. And now that I'm going back to Python for my research lab, it's like amazing how much I've learned just by using Godot. So you can learn Godot essentially as your first language, and that's why I made my tutorial series. But I think that it is perfect. Not perfect, but I actually prefer it to Python. I like the way that type hinting is done. I like the way that you define functions and variables and stuff like that. I love the syntax. So I think it's, pretty boring question to start out with, but I did, no offense, but I really love, I don't think it should be any more similar. I think it's pretty good how it is, because I think Python should honestly be more like GDScript. But that's a dumb bias, and there's a lot of things I don't know about programming that might make that a pretty ignorant statement. So we'll see. So nice, that one's done. I guess I could use this. Here we'll do. That sucks because I can't go into these columns if I've got this picture here. That makes sense, right? No, it doesn't make any sense, but whatever. I was gonna try. Oh, I can do this. Okay. Nope, not gonna let me. Okie dokie. Bum. Should be white. There we go. Okay. Thanks. Still no. Okie doke. I don't know why that is, but anyway. Let's go to this whole column here. Let's do. Oh, it is that, and it is that. Okay. Anyway. All right, so the next one I want to get to is Tia Booney, because she's actually been asking me this for a few days, and I think it's a really great one. Hello, sir. My question is regarding AI for a platformer shooter game, kind of bullet. Would a finite state machine be enough for a moderately complex AI with less than 10 states, but definitely more than 3, or should I look into more fitting ways to do what I want? Also, for a beginner, do you recommend implementing finite state machine directly into the script of the specific entity node? Or would a node-based approach be recommended? So every time I use state machines, I make them in the script, and I'll kind of go basically over how I do that. So let's make a new. I wonder if I can just add. See, it's not that. Oh fuck! I forgot to charge my mouse. All right, this is gonna be a rough day, babe. I've got an extra mouse, but okay. Now I want to go. Command Shift A, which should not be doing that. Why is it doing that? Command Option A? No. Oh, nope. That is my Flash card program. Sorry. I swear I know what I'm doing. But it's supposed to be Command Shift A for me is supposed to open up. I've set it as a. That should be in editor settings. As a hotkey. Whatever. I guess not. I guess it's not gonna do it for me. That's fine. Nice. Okay. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. So if I make a 2D scene real quick. And I'll go ahead and save this in QA sessions, and then we'll go QA session, yep, this one, and then I'll say state machine. And then I really just want to go basically over like how I would make the state machine in code. And then like kind of my thoughts on it. So essentially, and this is, I think I got this originally from Heartbeast's, one of Heartbeast's tutorials, and it's always stuck with me. So you can use the enum, okay? And then I forgot the format actually for enum, so let's do this. Or not. Why is that not? Okay. I know it's, there we go. I should be able to go to, yeah, okay, good, it's curly brackets. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna say enum, and then I think you can actually do this differently. I'll do it the way I do it just because that's the way I know. So I go like this, and then we say these are where you define your states, right? And so we'd say like all caps, and we'd say so idle, attack, follow, defend maybe, right? And then what we do here is we make another one called say var state, okay? And then by default we'll say equals, oh no, this needs to be labeled, right? Why am I forgetting how I did this? Ah, no, this is, there we go, I think that's it. Enum state, and then we say this is state equals. Oh, no. I don't know why I'm doing that. Okay, there we go. Forgot what enums actually do. And then so we set this to like 0. Okay, right? No, I'm dumb. Idle. I did it backwards. All right, so essentially what this does is enum defines all these variables, right? Or not variables, constants as just numbers. So idle in the background is being equal to 0, right? And stuff like that. But anyway, so it's just to kind of hold like things we can say. So what state are you in? And then what you do, for instance, is you go to physics process delta, okay, and then you would say like match state. Why would you do that? Match state, okay, and then you would just kind of basically do this, like that. Actually, we should probably do that. Make life easier. Okay. Yep, there you go. And yeah, so that's essentially how I do it. And then everything you want to happen in those states, oopsies, you just put in this code. So for instance, I'll have one, let's see if I can show you one where I've got a pretty good state machine going on. Actually, I think I'm going to show you my Godot jam for the last one that I went for. So this game was probably I only made 4 levels because I ran out of time, but it's 2D, but it looks 3D. It's really cool. So I think if I go to player, maybe enemy, do I have state machines in here? Oh, actually, I don't know if I made state machines in this one. Let's see. Can I do a state machine in this one? Nope. Okay, so not this one. We'll go to project files. Where is it? This one was not Fishbowl. Came off Game Jam. Godot Jam. Did I delete it? I might have deleted. I hated that game. Fishbowl. Game off Game Jam. No. Godot Gamepad. Yeah, I think I deleted it. Oh, that sucks. Okay. Oh no, Hexcode Jam. That was it. Okay. Cool. This game sucks, but that's not the point. The point is that the code is very good in this game, but it's just not very fun. So I think I want to do enemy. Oh no, I can actually parry. So we go to, the guy name was Parry. The joke was supposed to be that he parries things. Let's go here. See, like parries off attacks. Here I've got a big old state machine, right? Yeah, here we go. I even made this an export bar so I could change it in the editor. So if I go right here, I can change the state here to whichever state I wanted. Yeah, so here you can see I've got normal, which is like running around, parry, good dream, hit, and dead. So these are like different states that you can be in. And so just let's make sure I'm actually answering the question here. Let's say, or should I look into more fitting ways to do what I want as a beginner, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I've like seen videos on like branching trees and stuff like that. And I just think, like, I have never run into something thus far where just a normal state machine is not good enough. I think like they're simple for a reason. And you know, I mean, you can easily make things within these to chain across. I mean, I think less than 10, you're not going to have a problem keeping track of your code. If you were getting like 20 states, then you definitely want to like arrange it more in a hierarchy. Whereas with like 5 states or something like this, it's pretty simple to just, you know, I know when I'm done with something, which state I switch it to, and then I can also pick up on when a state switches. So anyway, so again, here we have that. We have the enum, the states, the state which we set to normal, and then in physics process we have match state, and then we have all those states. And so we have like what my player can do in each of those states. So for instance, if you look at like normal, we can move, and then movement function is just a simple, you know, takes input, moves the player around. Attack, obviously, like you hit your attack button, you attack, right? That's what's in normal. But then I've got, for instance, something like, this is a power-up, right? Good dream. If you get a power-up, what's going to happen? We say, okay, I'm going to set the good dream state equal to true, which is like, we can ignore this basically. And we say charging good dream, and this is like, makes you invulnerable, for instance. But it's like totally different. Like instead of being able to run around, you're like floating. I guess I could probably show you that. Why is it? Ooh, that sounds loud. Okay. I'm probably not going to get the... I love the art in this game too, but it's just not a fun game. I forgot how to play entirely too. Yeah, anyway. All right, so yeah, and then hit, for instance, when I get hit or someone gets hit, I want them not to be able to move. So I put in the hit state essentially to like freeze the player, make them do like a hit animation, stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, so that's how I would do state machines. I think it works pretty great. And if you want some more information on that, Heartbeast has a great tutorial, and that's kind of where I got this from. I think the only thing different, I don't know if he's using a match statement in his, but yeah, this is basically how I do it. Alrighty then. So we'll say that that has been done. Okay. Madhava Prasap. It's more of like a mental situation. How to have motivation for a long project? I lose them by time. Give your tips on that. Thanks, by the way. Yeah, so I mean, like real quick, right? Because I don't want to spend too much time going off script or like off the topic, is that like I'm in medical school and I have to do like 500 flashcards per day. And I know it's important. I know that it's what I have to do, but it freaking sucks. Like I sit there and I'm like, I hate my life. And so in order to like actually get those things done, you need to like healthily kind of space out your work schedule. Like don't just say, I'm gonna sit down for 5 hours and just nail it, man, because you are gonna burn yourself out so hard. Do like, I mean, the Pomodoro method I think is 30 minutes on, 10 minutes off. I do like hour on or like task on, right? Depending on the task typically. And then I'll take like a 15-20 minute break, maybe go for a walk. So I think that's the most important thing. Remember that you're running a marathon and it's not a sprint, right? The other thing is like make sure that the project you're working on is something you're interested in, right? Don't like do a project just to appease your like don't make a game that's only made to like make money or like get, you know, appease the people. Make sure you're making the game that you want to play. I think that's really important. But I do think that spacing it out and not burning yourself out is probably the most important piece of advice I could give there. Also, so I just forgot, but this is, I totally also forgot to add it to my OBS here, but this is part of the Godot Jam, an awesome event and game jam, where we're going to have, or I guess it's it's tons of events, right? And so go ahead and join our Discord. I should probably, let's see if I can toss that link in there, which is awesome. You can get announcements on all the different events like this one that are coming up if you're not already in there. So let me go ahead and just, nope, that's not going to work. I need to share. Invite people. All right, pop that one down there. All right, okay. So anyway, but yeah, fantastic jam. If not, the itch, I believe the itch link is down there as well. And we're actually on the front page. So if you just go right here, you can see that there's the jam. Pretty little logo. And yeah, very excited. Please join it. It'd be a great time, and it's a great first jam. I mean, last time we had a lot of people who had it be their first jam, and everyone learned a lot. And we're gonna play everyone's games after, so you're gonna get some exposure. Okay, so let's go ahead and head back over to this, see what's going on next. Okay, so I'd say I addressed that. I would say, yeah, again, just don't burn out. And that's easier said than done, obviously, but yeah, that's my biggest piece of advice. And if you really find yourself like hating something, I don't know. It does take a little bit of dedication. There's a little bit of you that's like, I don't want to do this, and you got to just do it, you know. But also decide if it's worth forcing yourself to do, because I think that's important. So again, I'm going to go ahead and do format wrapping, because for some reason when the Google form pastes here, it deletes all your formatting. Okay. Look through here. Can you describe the 2D viewport and stretch modes? I'm going to do them in order, but I want to just kind of get the mega scans and Quixel bridge float workflow is such a huge thing for Unreal Engine. Okay. I'm going to be honest, don't know what Quixel bridge and mega scans is. Oh, I think I do know what mega scans is, but I think that's 3D, and I don't really know anything about 3D. Yeah. Sorry, man. I don't really know much about 3D. This is mostly 2D, and then I can code a lot of stuff for 3D, which I've helped. See. Have you created add-ons? How would you go about planning the development of said add-on? That's a good question. But I also do want to get into actually coding stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll get to that one later. I can't answer this one. It's unfortunate. Let's see. And then I'll get to that one. So I'm going to do in order. First, we're going to do this one. Hi, Mr. Blah, blah, blah. You encouraged me to submit it here. I did. It's about creating a way to snap between two camera modes, one that covers the entire screen and the other that covers a specific area of the playground, focusing on the player character and her surroundings. Ideally, swapping camera modes would then be mapped to a specific input so the character can just, yeah. So that's really good. I think it's a great question. I think it's one that I haven't done before, so we're gonna solve it together. But I've thought about it a lot. I don't know if other people do that, but I always like think about stuff while I'm taking a dump. I'm like, how would I solve that coding challenge? I don't know if that's just me. Okay, let's go do questions. All right. So I want to just go here because here's an example of what she's talking about, right? So here's, or he, I don't know. So here's like the game screen, right? And so you want to have this view where you can see everything, but then if you toggle, you'll go to the player view. So yeah, let's go ahead. This art is beautiful, by the way. I really love this. But let's go ahead and try and get something going just like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and exit out of here. And then again, that basic state machine code is gonna be, I'm gonna push it to GitHub. So we'll say state machine, commit, and push. So again, that's in the description. So if you want to get that state machine code, it's right there, just basic stuff. Okay. So now what I want to do is make a new 2D scene, and I'll go ahead and I'll save this. Okay. Switch cameras. Beautiful. And then we'll say just level. Okay, cool. I'll rename that here too. And then what I would like to do is, I guess in order to like actually show that I'm moving around, I do kind of need to have something to do here. Let's do like that. PNG. What PNG files do I have? Okay. Because in order to observe motion and like stuff changing, obviously we have to kind of have some stuff. So let me just add another node here, and then I'm gonna add like a bunch of things like that. Just to like, well, these are some old weird questions I was making. Just to like have a little bit of frame of reference here so you can see that we are like moving around and stuff. Okay, cool. And then I'll just move these around the screen so that way you can see that we've got some kind of action happening. Ooh, should I just make this real quick and change this to a, maybe I will. Just for funsies. And then if anyone doesn't know how to use the animated sprite now, you'll learn, because it's cool. So we'll go ahead and just do new sprite frames, and then we'll open this up. Plus, no. I believe it's this one. Yep, there we go. Okay, and then we'll go to add-ons, ridiculous coding, blip, and then this is going to be vertical 1, horizontal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Select all frames and add 8 frames, and then we'll just have this playing. Except I do not see it. That's weird, isn't it? What the hell is it? That is very odd. Why is that not visible? All right, well, whatever. We don't really need that. Anyway, the point is just to have these as reference. And now, there we go. Okay, I don't know why that wasn't working before. I should have a player, basic player scene here. And then let's just make sure this does what I think it does. Hopefully, this just makes me run around and then shoot. And the point is really just to have it be a thing. Okay. And then let's make sure he doesn't have a camera attached. Good, no camera. Okay. And then we'll go ahead. Oopsies. We'll run this real quick. Oh, okay, that does work. It just didn't work not in game. Cool. Anyway, so here you go. You can see that now we got some frame of reference, and you can see that I've got this guy like this. Now, I'm going to go ahead and shrink him, so that way it's a little more relevant to what we're doing here. So let's make this like 0.3 by 0.3 maybe. Yeah, so now again, you can see how small that player is. So we're going to have 2 cameras essentially. We're going to have one. Well, there's actually several ways to do this, and I talked about that here. And I kind of want to look at the different ways. I think probably the easiest way would be to have a camera on the player, and then we're going to have a camera. Oh, I'm totally blowing it, by the way, because the whole point of having this add-on thing I made was so that I could do stuff like this. And I totally have already blown it. So we'll say, what should I say? What's this one called? We'll say camera switching. Okay, then we'll add it here, and then I'll hit start. So the whole point of this is that this generates the chapters at the end, so that way you can see what I'm working on, and like this has the stream time stuff. But anyway, I have forgotten, so I'll just have to like add most of this in manually, but I'm trying to be good about it from now on, from henceforth. Okay, cool. So the option number 1, right, is that we have a camera on the player, and then we have a camera here, and you can have as many cameras as you want, and then you simply set that camera to active or not. So we'll go ahead and add a camera node right here, and then we're going to go ahead and center that. So we'll put this here. We'll go here, and then anchor mode, fixed top left. There we go. Okay, cool. So that's going to be that. And then we'll go here and go to current, and we'll set that to true. And now if you see what happens is basically nothing, right? Nothing has happened yet, except we now have this new camera we say here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do, actually I'll just duplicate this camera, and then we'll add it to the player here, and we'll say current is not true, okay? And then what I wanna do, I guess I'll just add the script here, although you might wanna do this as a global thing. And then you can use the input function if you want. I should probably use the input function, underscore input event. And then we'll say if event equals, now I have to look up the events here. Okay, so let's actually go to the underscore input function there, see where that is, input event, and now we can look at all the different events. Is action pressed? There we go. So if we say is event is action pressed, if the given action is being pressed, okay, so I think this should work. Yeah. Okay, so if we say if event dot is action, there's no just pressed, but that's fine. Is action pressed, and then I don't know what many of these are, but we can do this. We'll say UI accept, which I don't know what that is. I think that's enter. So if we press enter, essentially we want the cameras to switch. Now, there's a few ways to go about this, right? See, that's why I don't love this method, because you're gonna have to grab all these cameras. So you could make this global, and then you could just make these cameras add themselves to a list, right? That's one way. I almost don't even want to go through it now though, because I think this is going to be a little more difficult than it needs to be, and it's not going to look that great. But I do kind of want to do that. All right, let's do this then. So this is not the best way to actually access the two cameras. I would look at my camera shake. Typically, what you want to do is have an actual script on the camera, each camera, right? And then, or even on the player, and then you would say, like, for instance, we'd have one of our here called cameras, right? And this would be a global thing. And then what we do is, like, I guess, it could be a list, or array, or a dictionary. And then you would add, the cameras here, say self, or globals.level.cameras.append self, right, for each of these cameras. And then when you set active, you then like echo over here to say active. Yeah, that would be that. Anyway, okay, so with only two cameras, you can do it this way, right? So we can say on ready var main cam equals camera 2D, and then that's actually fine. This is the thing you don't want to do typically. On ready var player cam equals it's not gonna let me do that. Here, let's just do this. Copy node path. Yeah, player camera 2D2. Okay, cool. And then now what we're gonna do is basically just switch to those. So we're gonna say if main cam dot active. Why is it not? It should work, right? Oh, current. That's why. So if main cam dot current. Oh, actually, we don't even have to do that. We can say main cam dot current equals not main cam dot current, and then we can do the same thing for player cam. Player cam dot current equals not player cam dot current. Okay, so quickly, what this does, and I didn't figure out this for a while, right? If you want to switch between two just Boolean variables from true to false, right? Every time we switch this, we're going to say, so this is a Boolean, right? Main cam might equal true. We're going to say it equals not itself. So if this is true, we're going to flip it to false. So this will flip it each time. And here what we have is we should also enable smoothing on these for sure, because otherwise it's going to look real choppy. Yeah, so essentially what this will do is, because we go here, we can see this one's not current and this one is. Again, this is a little sketchy of a way to do it, right? There are definitely better ways to do it that I'm going to get into. But now if we run this, and then I should, what is UI accept? Oh, that's, okay, hold on. We just got to change this to be drag center. Okay, and then we'll change the zoom value here. We can actually, yeah, I'll change the zoom value to like 5. Oh, no, we want opposite, 0.5, 0.5. Okay, yeah, that's fine, right? All right, and then I can run this. And now if I hit enter, you can see the camera switches to this, but there's no smooth transition there. And I thought there would be. Oh, interesting. And that doesn't even work the other way, which is odd to me, right? Because that should have worked. Why is this happening? I'm gonna need to print output there. Let's prints and then main cam dot current and then player cam dot current. Okay, let's see here. I really hope that those are working. Oh my god, I have no idea why it's listening on a port. Where on earth am I doing that in this code? Sessions, shader practice, particles, mecha? No, it's not in particles, it's not in shader practice. Error listening on port 607. Oh god. Does anyone know how to fix that? Because there's a way to like just cheap fix it without actually having to know why that's happening. Where on earth? Let's do search, find in files, send. Fuck. It's not gonna let me error listening on port. That's so irritating. That's a big problem, and I have no idea because I'm almost positive I don't have a script that is going to be actually doing any of that. What is happening? Okay. I don't think it's in there, so it's got to be in there because there's nothing in here. Are there significantly less QA sessions? Am I tripping? Did I delete a bunch of them? Like, what just happened? Did I just delete a bunch of them? What the heck? Oh no, it's because I searched PNG. Okay. Calendar test, mecha, NPC platforms, particles. Okay, now there might be something. Test. Let's see, coin drops. 3D perspective. Profile. Don't know what that is. That's a problem, dude. I'm sorry. Does anyone know? Okay, let's do this. Quick Google. For the love of Birch. Oh my god. Why would you not? There we go. Okay. Let's see, what if I go search, find in files, and then, oh god, port. No, I need the word port. That's so weird because I don't think I have any multiplayer scripts in here. So I have no idea why that's happening. Dude. Oh, is it because I'm running 2 Godot engines right now? Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why they do it to me. But it is super annoying. It's just to restart the PC. There we go. Editor editing. There we go. Project. Editor settings. Network debug. There we go. Network debug, and then we'll change the port to just like 608 or something. Close. Okay. Now it should work. Right? No, okay. No more error. But this should definitely be printing these, and it's not. Okay. Why is output not working, dude? What is happening here? I've never had any of these things ever happen to me. Why is it not outputting? That's a big problem, dude. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Let me see, scroll container. Okay, let's say bottom left. What the? Oh, because you can't. Okay, well, doesn't matter. Scroll container, move it, put it over here, and then I'm going to add a VBox container, and then yeah, okay. Little script here. Okay, and then I'm going to say this is my terminal here, okay? And we're gonna go ahead and just simply say function underscore print, and then we'll say text, and then we're gonna say on ready var container equals VBox container. Okay, then we're gonna say var label equals label dot new. No, prints is a function that should work. It's really just that. Yeah, I think it's just because. But now the output's working. Nope, no output there. That's super weird. Okay, whatever. Anyway, this will be quick. Okay, we're gonna say label, or we're gonna say container dot add child label, and then here we're gonna say label dot text equals string. text. Okay, and then this will work. And then in here, I can then go on ready var terminal equals scroll container, and then here I'm just going to say print and we say terminal dot print, oh no, underscore print, underscore print, and then we'll say what we want. So this one. Oh, Godot. Oh, Godot, waiting for Godot. Player cam current. Okay. What? Oh, it's because it's over there. Okay. Yeah, then maybe I should actually attach this to the player here. Okay. Oh, now the game's gonna break. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to quit this, man. That's not good. That is not good. Uh-oh. That's real bad juju, man. Come on, force quit. Okay, cool. All right, so I might have to just quit out of the, yeah. Let's do this. Save it all, quit it. And I'm gonna have to quit my, my cool little Godot thing, because I think this is causing the problems. All right. Cool. Let's just get back to it. Let's just do it. Huh? Open up Godot. Yeah. Okay, and then now I should be able to go back to here, and then let's go to Q&A sessions today. Switch cameras. Level. Okay. There we go. Okay, cool. That's weird. It wasn't even telling me my errors. I don't know. Maybe that was... But now I should just be able to go prints. Yeah, prints. What prints does is it just separates two things by... It takes as many arguments you want and separates them by spaces. So main cam dot current, and then player cam dot current. Okay. Finally, can debug. That's super weird. Because that means it's not changing them. But it's doing it once, but then not again? How does that work, huh? All right, here's what I want to see now. Okay, so then it's not working the next time, which is weird. I've done that before tons of times, but all right, well, let's just do this then. We'll say if main cam dot current, yeah, we'll say if main cam dot current, then we're gonna say player cam dot current equals true, main cam dot current equals false. Okay, and then we're just gonna say else, and then we'll just do this and then just reverse those. That should have been a much quicker thing. Greatly apologize for that. There we go. So now you can see that I switched to this camera, and then I can switch to this camera just like that, just by changing current. Now, obviously what you can see here is that it's not transitioning. So there's ways to do that where it actually transitions, but not using this method, I don't think. So I don't think this method is going to work like that, which is certainly kind of a bummer, but now what I want to do is make the second method. So I'll go ahead and I'll just make a new level, I guess. So call this, we'll say method 2, and then I'm going to grab this and paste that over here. So we still want that, but then we're going to want to change the way that this happens. Okay, switch camera, and then yeah, we'll call this method 2. Cool. Debugger, what was not happening? No, so scroll container, that's cool. Because we deleted it. That is why. Okay, so method 2 here, again, we're gonna add a script. Or are we? And then we're gonna add our player to method 2. And I'll delete that camera there. Okay, so again, now we've got the player, we do this, and we can run around and do stuff like that. Now, what we want to do is then have a camera. Okay, and then I'm gonna keep centered, but then what I want it to do is right now be in the center. So we're gonna say drag center, and then do we want to set the offset? Yeah, we'll set, we don't want that offset to always be 0, do we? Oh, you know what? Yeah, because this was what I wanted to happen. So I'm going to do a position 2D, and I'm going to put the camera. I'll keep the camera there, I guess, and then I'm going to put this position 2D. No, I'm sorry. Actually, we do need to put the camera as a child of the position 2D. So now, if we move the position 2D around, you can see that the camera goes wherever that is. So if we put the position 2D by default in the center of the screen, right? So, is it 1080 divided by 2? Nope. Jesus. 1080 times. Oh, should it be 1080? What the hell? What are the just basically half your window size, but I don't know. Yeah, 1920 by 1080. That's why. 1920 divided by 2. 1080 divided by 2. Beautiful. All right. All right. It's the chat thing is a run in the editor right now because there's a lot of reasons why I can't currently export it because it's using a lot of Python files. But yeah, so that was the problem. Yeah, I think it was the problem was that I was using the same ports, and I don't know. There's probably something going on I don't understand about that, which is just weird to me. But anyway, this is working now. That's a very good thought that the player cam was not unique because I copied it, but I don't know. Works the other way, so we'll keep it that way. And also, I was just trying to get that out of the way because I think this is a better way to do it. So we've got this position, right? And the camera is always going to be trying to follow this position. So right now we've got the camera here. We'll do drag center, not rotating, current. Yeah, we want current. Zoom level, we'll leave it as it is. And then we'll go to smoothing and turn that on. Okay, cool. Now what we want to do is essentially we'll make a, we can make a script or do anything you want. And this makes it much more dynamic, right? Because you can just kind of have it like be something that follows. You could also reparent the camera, but I think that would be much more choppy. So yeah, so what we'll do is we'll basically give this a script here. And then I'll say, we should do on ready var tween equals tween dot new, and then I guess we don't even need to make that on ready var. Fuck it, I'm not gonna do it that way. We're just gonna add a tween there, and now we'll do that. equals tween. Okay. And then, so essentially what's going to happen is that we're going to put this position wherever we want it to be. And you can just, so we'll make a few positions here. This would technically need to be a global script, but in this case, I'm not going to make it a global script because I am going to give it, I guess I'm just going to make it a global script because it makes life easier. It's supposed to be in if you were actually adding it to your game, but okay. Oh, it's not a scene. Okay, well, all right, let's do this the hard way. Let's go in here, say onReady var player equals get underscore parent dot get underscore. You should never do this, by the way, but I am just actually, I don't want to mess with the script too much, but here, I'll do this. Signal is underscore player, and then self player, and then I'm going to do a ready function underscore ready, and then right here I'm going to say emit signal is player, and then self, just like that. Okay. And then we'll connect that signal here to position right there. Okay. And then on that, we'll say var player, and then here we'll say player equals player. Okay, cool. Okay, so now that we've done that, essentially what I just did is so that when the game starts, it's gonna, I think this needs to be above that in the tree though. When the game starts, he's going to basically signal over to him that he is the player, and then we'll have that information. And then right here again, I'm gonna use the input function again here. So I'm just gonna steal what I did here, just this bit. That's all we want. Okay. Okay, so input, if input is action pressed, UI accept, which is just the enter key. Then we want this to switch between two positions. Wait. Where did I just paste that? I pasted it in here. Yep, that's where I did it. That's not where I want it. And here's where I want it. Okay, cool. So input event, okay, so if event is action pressed, UI accept, we want to essentially set ourselves to one of two positions. So we'll say that, should actually right here do, right here I'll do pass for right now. So function underscore physics process pass, okay, and then I'll make another one, function underscore ready, and then we'll say set underscore physics process false, not place, but false. And then here, and then I'll make two states. Here I'll use a state machine, baby. So we'll say enum, and then we'll say player, and then this one should probably be scene. Okay, yeah, so just like that, and then we'll say var state equals 0, or I'm sorry, scene, just like that. Okay, and then again in physics process, say match. Well, we don't need to really do that way, do we? Yeah, we'll do it there. Okay, so physics process is true. Then what we'll say is global position equals, and so now again we're a script of the position 2D, and the camera's following the position 2D. So what we want to do is then, I'll do it this way, yeah. So we'll say var target, okay, and then here we'll say player equals player. We'll say target equals player, and the reason I'm doing target is because I want this system to be made so that like you could for instance have multiple people be the center of the camera's attention, and so yeah, we want to have this target variable that is separate. So global position equals target dot global position. Why don't you like that? There we go. Okay, so global position equals target dot global position if physics process is true, and then by default, what we'll do here is if event is action pressed UI accept, we're going to basically switch our state. So we'll say match state, and then we'll say scene pass, and then obviously player pass. So we'll match our state. So if the state, this is going to give us what our current state is. Oh, this should be like that. No, that was wrong. What the? Right. Yeah, this needs to be indented. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, so match state, and then we've got scene player. So essentially it's going to say what the state last was. So okay, so if the state was scene, then we're going to say state equals player. Okay, and then do something very similar here, except this is going to equal now scene. Okay, so that will just make sure that it switches the states in between each other. And now what do we want to happen during those states? So if it's the player state, right, we know that the target is the player. Well, for instance, actually here we'll do it this way. Rather than doing that, we'll say target equals player, right? So player is going to be the player node by the time this happens, right? And then we're going to say set underscore physics process true, okay? And then here, what we'll do is we'll say set underscore physics process false, because again, physics process is making it follow that, right? And then here, when we say scene, we're gonna say global position equals vector 2. And then you want to put your screen width and height divided by 2. So 1980 by 1080, and then we're going to divide by 2. Okay. And then I do think that should work. Okay, so we can do this. Enter. Invalid get index global position on base nil. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so we'll say print on player is player, print player. Okay, so yeah, it's got the player, so target equals player, right? So that should be a thing. And then we set physics process true. It's false by default, so that shouldn't be an issue, right? Right? Yeah, I don't know why that would happen. All right, well, for right now then, just to hopefully fix that temporarily, is do this. Let's do this. Okay, so now you're on the screen, and now you switch to the player. And then, of course, the other thing you might want to do, for instance, is we can make this, what's it called? The zoom. Yeah, we can set the zoom. So we can say, for instance, on rev camera. On rev camera. equals camera. Okay, just like that. And then here we'll just say camera dot zoom. Okay, cool. And then here I'll just say equals camera dot zoom divided by 2. We should probably have exact values, I would say. Because here I want to also do, so camera dot zoom equals vector 2, 1, 1, there we go. So that should work. And now if we run this again, see that I go like this, then, there we go. Okay, so obviously there's a few things, right? It's very abrupt because we're switching very suddenly from here and then to here. There's definitely some things to eke out in the beginning, but that's why we added the tween, right? So now we can go ahead and actually tween in between those zoom values. So for instance here, I'll say tween, here we'll say, I'll make a new function. We'll say function, shift, zoom, or we'll just call it zoom. So function zoom, and then we'll say old. I guess we really only need the new value. So new, right? Okay. New underscore zoom here, and then we'll come right here, and then we'll say tween dot interpolate property. If you don't know how to use tweens, they are amazing, and they're also like not that hard to learn, I don't think. So go tween dot start here. Okay, now we have to fill this in with stuff. Essentially what this is going to do, and I'll show you right now, if you go to, let me stick this right here. If you go to any browser and then you search easings, easings.net, what you'll get is all the different functions that you can make the camera zoom, like, or use this tween with. I think I'm probably just going to use maybe an ease out cubic. We'll see, but we can play around with these. This is a really handy site. I didn't know Godot uses ports on debug. That's weird. Okay. Because I have things where I have a server running, and when I do that, it doesn't work. So I thought that was the reason, but I guess not. Anyway, you're not defining the target on input function, thus error. No, that wasn't it, because target should have been defined before that, right? It's basically everything in Godot is a global variable, and this is happening before input ever happens. So, yeah. Sorry. Anyway, okay. So, zoom, new zoom here, and then we're going to say what property are we going to zoom? So we're going to zoom our camera, right? And then what property of that? We're going to do the zoom property. Let's make sure that that's what it's called. Click here, go here, zoom, just called zoom. Great. Sometimes it's like underscore camera zoom or something like that. I don't know. So zoom, then the initial value, which for this, we're just going to say camera dot zoom, right? So the initial value is whatever the value is, and then the final value is then just our new zoom, okay? Duration, I mean, you can make this whatever you want. I guess I'll do like 0.5 seconds, see how that looks. I'll do a tween, let's do cubic, and then we'll do ease in, okay? All right, and then I like to split that on 2 lines like that. And then what we'll do right here is simply say zoom. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but my girlfriend and a friend are doing a Peloton class. So zoom, so I'm sorry for that if you can. New zoom, and then our new zoom here, I might be confusing ports and servers. I just know the editor setting is a debug address and a debug port. No, I'm just saying, like, it just doesn't make sense to me why it would need to open a server to do debug. Well, I guess it's communicating via packets, I guess, but that's just, I guess that just seems weird to me. So it's got like a separate file. I don't know. I've never really unpacked how Godot works because I don't code and see it all. But anyway, so zoom, and then what do we want to zoom to? Camera dot zoom divided by 2 is what we want it to zoom to. And here we'll say just simply that. And then we'll say zoom to that. Let's give that a look-see. Whoa. Where's my guy going? Oh, so I guess this needs to be an ease out, I guess. All right, yeah, so now you've got like a nice smooth transition like that. The other thing would be that right now, of course, what we're doing is we're saying just like using a physics process to make that, which we do want to be true, but what we also want to do is, so the zoom is going to be a thing, and then I'm gonna, for some reason I can't think of a word except for translocate, so we're gonna make a new function called translocate, which is just a fun function. And then we're gonna say position. Do we want position? Yeah, I'm just gonna do it differently. Actually, yeah, so we'll make function translocate. Function translocate. All right, and then so we'll say position, and then we'll say player, or we'll say object, and then this will be equal to false. All right, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna say if object, if not object, if not object, pass else pass. Okay, so we're gonna say final position. Oh no, yeah, never mind, it doesn't matter. Oh, does it? Yes, I think it does. Okay, so we're gonna do a tween here, again, just like the other one. So I'll do this, copy this. Okay, so we're gonna tween that, okay. And so essentially all I wanna do here is say if object. If it is an object, what we wanna say is position equals, so I'm sorry, if object. So if it is an object, position equals position dot global position. Never mind, this is stupid. I thought that I could dynamically make it zoom to its position, but I don't think I can with a tween, because we'd have to be updating that every single time. So this is gonna be self global position. Okay, so tween dot interpolate property self global position, and then we don't want camera zoom, but instead we want global position, and then our new zoom, and rather than being new zoom, it's just going to be position like that. Okay, so that way we can make it smoothly transition to those different points. All right, and then we're obviously starting the tween right here. Let's see. There's definitely something I was thinking of. So when do we want to insert this is that My dog hates all the noise, so she gonna come and hang out in here. Okay. So we want to call that function. Let's make, I like things to be organized, so I'm going to keep this here so that way it's consistent. So here we're setting the global position. Here we're just setting physics process to equal true. So at the end of translocate, in fact, I'm just going to do this. We're not going to make a function out of this, but you could. And then I'm just literally going to stick this here. Okay, so do that. Okay, and then we want player dot or target dot global position. Global. Okay. Target dot global position. Perfect. Okay, so we want to do that. Then we want to do zoom, camera, like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say yield for tween, and then we're going to say tween all completed. So essentially what this is going to do is this is going to make sure that we wait until this has happened, right? So we're going to make sure that we wait. This is going to wait until the tween has finished animating, and then we're going to start doing our typical just set our global position function. All right, let's give it a shot. How's that look? I don't know. Okay, so I don't think we're going to be able to tween our position. I think the best we can do is just this, and then I mean, it's pretty good, to be honest. And then you can just mess with the camera smoothing, I guess, if you want to make that more smooth. Anyway, so yeah, I think that's probably the best way to do it because that's very dynamic, right? You make this a global script. And then, so rather than like doing what I did, the weird stuff with the player, is that you can just simply set the target, right? All you have to do is set the target of this. And whenever you set the target, then the camera follows that target. And then you also have a zone. So you might even change this to be target, right? And then if you have a target, then you follow the target. And then if you don't have a target, rather than following the target, you just go back to this. And so what you could do, theoretically, is then make a function on any object you have in the game, and then say globals.camera.target equals this, and then it would tween over to look at that. So that's how those are the two ways I would do it. One, of course, you've got the very simple just changing whether the camera looks at you or the whole thing, and that's like a very quick cut over to you, right? May or may not be what you want. And then the second one is more of a smooth transition, which you can mess with considerably more, doing whatever you want to do. Yeah, so that's about it. What did I want to fix? I did want to fix as to why exactly the first time I hit input, it's not working. Camera is current, position is this. So the state is seen, and so match state, scene. Okay, I gotcha. It's because the first time we're doing this, we're doing this, right? Say equals player, but so we should already be there. No, this is the only reason. Let's do that. Player. There we go, and then that should fix that. Right? Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. All right, and then that's about it. So there's that. I think that's pretty good. Pretty good. So go ahead and do that. So we'll say camera switching. All right. All right, you guys. Sorry, I am kind of getting back in the swing of things because I have been really caught up with school and haven't really been able to program much. So I've kind of lost a grip on a few things, but bear with me. I still know this stuff. It takes me a little longer to figure out exactly where that was. Okay, so now if we go back to here, I would say that that has been answered. Okay. All right, we got some more questions. Always great. Again, if anyone has just tuned in, you can go ask your own question. Either just put it in the chat, or preferably go in the description and go to the Google form, and then it'll show up here. Just have to keep doing this for some reason. Okay, cool. So have you created add-ons? If so, how would you go about planning the development of said add-on? So yeah, I have made a few add-ons. Let's see. I made a little bit, I actually made a video about how to make add-ons. I don't know. Yeah, here it is. Oh, plugins. Okay, so I don't know if you say plugins are the same thing, but here's how you'd make a plugin. I think an add-on is very similar. Let's see. Yeah, it's just plugins. Yeah. So just making sure they didn't like delineate those, and I wasn't about to answer. But yeah, so that video I showed, this video right here, will show you the basics of making what these are inspector plugins, but it kind of goes through how to make a plugin in general. The documentation is really not good on plugins, in my opinion. It's a little confusing. So I would just watch this video, and I think it gives you a really good understanding, regardless of whether you want to make an inspector plugin or some other sort of plugin. And then you've got functions for doing that. But the way I would plan to make a plugin, just like planning to make any kind of any kind of project, right, is think first like what you want to achieve, and then think about the code. So like write it out, like, okay, I want to make a plugin that adds a button to all control nodes that says do this thing, right? And that's what I did here. So after you say that, you think about what kind of like functions you want this to have, and not like code functions, but literal functions. Like what would you like this thing to do, right? And then you actually think about the code. So what kind of functionality I'm going to have leads to where are these scripts going to be located. So you need you watch the video, you've got like a plugin configuration script, then you've got the actual, what's it called? The editor, the editor inspector plugin script, there you go. And then you've got the actual plugin, like button script itself. So those are the three things, and then you can think about, oh, this obviously needs to be a child of that, and then I'll instance the buttons on that. And so, like, I don't know. So that's kind of like how you walk through it. I don't know exactly how I'd tell you how to plan it non-specifically, but yeah, that's about it. Okay, alrighty then. So we've got that. Could you show how to create instances of scenes on an infinite background? I would love to create a presentation app with this. I don't know how to get this done. Flame Lizard, are you here, man? Because I kind of want a little clarification on that. I'm curious if you know how to fake 3D depth system, for example. For example, in the Mario and Luigi series, you can jump in a top-down perspective. Yeah, so I think Mario and Luigi was actually 3D and they just made it look 2D though. Yeah, so this is actually 3D and they're just making it look 2D. But I mean, it's still about the same, right? There's just a little more complication in the physics, but for one thing, I would check out, if you go to my GitHub, which I think the link is in the description, and then it's called Solenoid. I've got a project set up where you can, basically you make a flat thing and then you project it onto Like, so it's a 2D game, and then you project it onto a screen, and then you tilt it in a 3D space and have the camera look at it. So it gives you this fake sense of perspective, like whatever is the top is farther away and stuff like that. So that might be something that you're interested in doing that. Otherwise, you could just do the 2D. I mean, it really does, it's 3D, but it looks quite 2D, right? And then you would just have jumps. So you would just do this. Actually, there is some difficulty there, isn't there? Because making jumping is difficult in that setting. Huh. Without jumping, it's actually pretty easy, but with jumping, it is a little difficult. But essentially, you need to calculate, I don't know, there's a lot that goes into that I don't think I can answer right now. But yeah, so check out that one on Solenoid. So, I mean, I guess I can just open that up real quick and show you. Godot Jam. It was my game for the last Godot Jam. Project files, and then project.godot. And so if you look, this is the main scene here, and this is the entirety of what I've worked with. I don't know why you can't see this. There you go. Okay, so that essentially what's going to happen is that this is a mesh instance, and the actual 2D game, which it's the entire game is made in 2D, is just going to be projected onto this mesh instance like this, and then we tilt that mesh instance at I think I tilted it like 15 or 25 degrees or something. And the more you tilt, the more you're going to get that really cool perspective-looking thing. And the other thing to make fake 3D is definitely to go ahead and use what are they called? I already forgot what they're called. Light maps? I think they're called light maps, but I just didn't want to say that without like being sure. But yeah, so like normal maps, not light maps. So for instance, like if you look at this ball structure, when light hits this, it's gonna make it look 3D because the light's gonna reflect and do stuff upon that. And so by doing it that way, and we can actually, I think I can run this. So this is Solenoid. So if we go in this, you can see essentially the effect that I've made there. So you can see that it does kind of look like it's actually 3D. And you can see that there's this weird kind of perspective tilt to it. And especially where the light maps are used, you get that sense of 3D. It's a little laggy, I don't know why, because it runs perfectly usually. It's probably because I've got like 30 things open. Yeah, that's probably a fair guess. Whoa. But yeah, as you can see, it's got like a kind of interesting, like over here, it's clearly just 2D, but over here, it really does look like it's like a 3D thing that I mean, the balls look terrible, but these walls right here, I think, look pretty good. Yeah, this game's free to play on itch, but there's only 4 levels right now. Yeah. Oh, I thought we fixed those things. I guess not. That's fine. Ooh. Oh yeah. All right. Oh yeah. Anyway, that's how I do that. I can quit that. That's how I'd fake 2D. Jumping, let's see. You can jump in a top-down perspective. Yeah, so essentially, the way I would do that, right, is that I would have like your character, and then I would have like when you jump, right? I guess we can try and make this here. We'll add a 2D scene. The problem is like I don't really have like a background image to use. Here, let's see. That's not the main problem, but that is a problem. Let's see. If I go to Godot, no, it's in my storage thing, isn't it? There we go. I'll use this thumbnail. So we'll just pop that in here. So I'll make a new folder, and this will be fake top down. And so I'm not going to set up the 3D scene because that's like quite a bit of work, but I will do the 2D scene, and we'll make it so that you can like jump on something like that. Okay, and then let's do this. I should just be able to click and drag it in there. See if that worked. Beautiful. Okay. So then what we're going to do is I'm going to okay, we'll add a canvas layer. Here, this will do. Canvas layer. Okay, and then to that we'll add a texture rect. This is not how you should typically do this, but this is like a quick and dirty way of getting this working in there like that. And then I want this to do full rect, of course, and then expand. Okay, perfect. All right, so here's the old school one I had, right? And so we'll go ahead and add our player here. Basic player, okay. And then obviously this needs to be on top of that. And we need to put the canvas layer, actually no, layer down to -1. There we go. And now we've got the player. Doesn't matter where I put them. Okay. And if we run this, oh, gotta save it. Click top down and save. Okay, now if we run this, let's see that I'm on top, whatever. Now what you'd want, right, so when this, if the screen is tilted like it was in that solenoid, can you make particles react to bodies or collision objects in general? I think you can, but I've never done it. I've definitely I've seen it done in 3D on Reddit. And I've been wondering about that quite a bit. I think that's something they were planning on doing. Yeah, I don't know exactly how you do that. Maybe I can look into that in a second. But there might be a setting in the Particles 2D class. But anyway, so yeah, if you had this at an angle, this would look much more interesting, right? And then now, essentially what we want to do is make a jump. So he can jump like this. But if you just jumped like this on the, for instance, my solenoid game, it would look fine. But all we're going to do here is essentially give him a jump ability, and then when he jumps, when he presses that, we're going to mark out where the ground is. And then we're going to basically take that value and constantly we're going to try and return to that value. I don't know if I want to spend the time doing this though, because I think there's some better questions. Let's see. Infinite background. Okay, yeah, it's on Godot 4. That's what I thought. I think you might be able to do it in the 3D though. Okay. Let's do this again. Wrapping. Could you show how to create instances of scene? Okay. Okay, yeah. Yeah, let's try and do this. Okay, so I think I should be able to do is do not instance child scene. Instance child scene, and if I do basic player. I forgot how to do it. There's a way to expand collapse, GDScript, say branch of scene, copy node path. Interesting. Sub-resources, maybe. Script. No, I thought there was a way to make this its own unique instance, so it had all the functions it had with a right click. Reparent, make scene root. No. Duplicate. Merge. From scene, save branches, scene, copy node path. Load as placeholder, make local. I think make local would work, but that's not what I'm looking for. Is it this? Nope. Whatever. All right, I'll just add a jump function in here. Or better yet, I'm gonna copy this whole script and do this the dirty way. So we're gonna add a kinematic body 2D. I'm gonna add a script to that. And then to this, I'm gonna go ahead and just, oopsies. Gonna go ahead and paste the script in here. And then now we'll make a function called jump. Function underscore, or we'll just call this jump. All right. We'll just put this in here. So we're going to put this in our physics process. And then we're gonna say basically if input dot is, or sorry, dot is underscore action just pressed. I wonder, what do UI accept? Yeah, so I'll just make enter our jump. Oh, yeah, we'll do shoot. Shoot, okay, perfect. Okay, if input is press UI shoot, then we're gonna make our character jump up, right? So obviously the problem here is that there is like technically no gravity. But gotta have the ground. Yeah, jumping is definitely the hardest part of this because everything else works out fine. But jumping, we have to basically remember where the bottom position is. So if you can imagine like a shadow on the character here. Oh, we need to add a sprite. All right, let's go to here. Basic player. We're gonna do that and just totally cheat it here. All right, let's see if that works first. No, that's not working. Oh, all right, beautiful, so that's working. Okay, now what I wanna do is actually make him jump. So, thinking about exactly how we do this, right? So, essentially what I want to do is mark our current global position. So we'd say var ground equals global position, okay? And then here what we want to do is like force ourselves up. So we'll say input vector no, not input vector. Oh, you'd also need to like set a state as jumped, right? And you can also like expand him to make him look bigger when he does that. But boy, they just shrank the sprite, cast around shadow, or remove the collisions. Yeah, so that's essentially what you would do, but the hard part is remembering where to come back down, right? Because like if you're jumping over here, you need, if you're jumping, you know, where do you stop falling, right? So obviously you can do all that. That just makes the sprite smaller to fake a jump. Yeah, you could, yeah, that's the easy part, honestly. The hard part is this. So when you jump, right, if we're on this screen here, and I jump over here, I have to come down. Where do I stop coming down, right? I have to know where that floor is. I guess, I mean, you know, like if you're on an open road, if the road is, for instance, like oh yeah, let's do it this way. Oh, I can't do that, of course, because I did this. Okay, so let's say that this is like, this is the road here, right? Or I'm walking this way, and I want to jump here. It's like, say I'm right here and I want to jump, and then I come back down. I want to make sure I land right here, right? Even though I can walk over here, I don't want to jump up and then fall all the way down here because that would ruin the experience. We want to know like which plane I'm on. So you kind of have to mark that right there. So we don't actually even need, yeah, we'll just keep that there. So that's going to be our ground. So right now what we're going to do is set that ground, and then so we can fall and come back and read. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know why. I was just agreeing because essentially I'm saying with that, while you jump, your scale is going to increase proportional to your height. So you would say like in jump, and we want to change velocity. So I'm going to say velocity dot y, right? And then we say plus equals, what's our max velocity and stuff? 1,000. Yeah, so I'll say plus equals 1,000. So now I think it's, so we want to do minus equals. I might have to de-clamp the jump here, that was the problem. Because right now we're clamped to max speed. So else, if velocity, we're doing velocity that clamped to max speed. And then here we'll just do plus jump. And then here I'll say var jump vector 2. Well, we can just do it equals vector 2 dot 0, right? And then what we'll do here is just set those. We'll say jump see, there's so much I have to do that I don't really want to do right now. I have to make gravity a thing. I have to... Yeah, I think this is going to just be too taxing. Will Godot 4 never come out? No, I think it's coming out, man, because Godot 3.4 has made a lot of progress real quick. Yeah, I'm sure, because they just want it to be perfect. Godot 4, once Godot 4 comes out, the goal is to actually have it be more, like, a better game engine than, like, Unreal and Unity and, like, stick it up there. So they're really trying to, like, polish it up and make sure that it is ready to go when that happens. But no, yeah, so when you jump, you make the scale bigger. But the problem is, like, we need to actually come up by some amount here, and then we need to fall down. So we'll say jump equals... I'm going to make a very hacky jump system. You should use your own code for this, for sure. Oh, Jesus.
Do you want a bagel?
Yeah. You want to shower first?
Yeah, we're going to go.
I'm streaming. All right. Sorry about that. All right. So we got jump equals vector 2. Yeah, you're kind Russian man. Of course I remember. Yeah, so, but the problem is, like, I want it to be dynamic. So, for instance, in here, I want to say, like, if, let's see. So, the problem is that we need him to come up and then come back down at some rate, right? Obviously. So jump equals vector 2, and then we're going to set the jump to be x is 0, and then our y is going to be like 2,000. Or 1,000, say. Okay, so that will like kind of smack us up quite a bit. But see... Let's do this. Jump plus equals jump force. Or what are people trying to say? No, of course I don't remember that.
Come on, Jojo. Want to go outside? Joni, want to go outside? Want to go for a walk?
No, she does not want to go for a walk.
She has to. She needs to poopy. Come on, Jojo. Go poopy.
Sorry about that. Okay, so, and thanks, man. Yeah, this is, I think it's mainly because I usually still only have like 4 people watching, but it's for this stream. This is honestly, this feels like one of my worst streams. I feel like I'm doing awful because these are just kind of difficult questions to tackle. But we do want them to have gravity because we want them to feel like they're falling. It's a synthetic gravity, of course, but so in fact, I'm actually just going to do it this way. I'm going to add a move and slide. I wonder if it'll fuck it up though if I add 2 move and slides. Yeah, it definitely will move it, or fuck it up if I add 2 movement slides. So I do need to compute that here. So we'll say plus jump, and then we'll say jump minus equals vector2 dot up times var jump underscore force equals vector2 dot 0. Then here we'll change this to say jump force plus jump, and here we got vector2 dot up we'll call that gravity then. Now, yeah, now I feel like it's broken all over the place. I kind of just want to grab, rather than figure this out, steal this gravity code from somewhere else. I might do that real quick. Because I don't want to code this back from scratch and like have to figure it out. Because I made it work here. Okay, scenes, parry.gd, and then movement. If movement paused, not movement paused, this is regular movement. If not on ground, if on ground, if in post action UI jumped, don't want to play that. Velocity.y equals negative jump force. I don't know, there's just so many inherent problems with this, right? Because I'm sure that when we're doing our movement, wherever move and slide is here, here we go, right there. Okay, move and slide velocity, this. Ah, but the way I cheated it here was that this is done after we clamp our velocity. Okay, so I'm just gonna do that then. So rather than put jump here, I'm gonna put jump in movement, and then we'll put, so velocity equals velocity clamped there, and then we're gonna say right here, then I'll put jump. There we go, and then we'll say velocity plus equals jump force. Okay, and then see if that breaks anything. Okay. Is that shoot? Yeah. Ah, wait, velocity plus equals jump force. If we're doing that here, should have a massive velocity spike, no? Okay, so it's trying to print, or it's doing it, but velocity plus equals jump force. Interesting. Why is this not modifying velocity? input is action pressed, shoot, velocity plus equals jump force. Jump force. Oh, that's why. Okay. Vector 2, 0, 1000. Okay. All right, let's give it a shot now. Okay, so now obviously you're seeing we come up, but we need to go back down to the spot, right? So I'm actually gonna change this to 2000. That looks like. Okay, and then all we want to do is just have a gravity force. So we have to predefine our ground, right? And then we want to then say come back to our ground. Because we want the ground to be able to move horizontally. Yeah, the jump force, I'm just kind of like just shooting everywhere and just trying to make this. So jump, and then we want to basically, we want to create a flag here. We don't even need this anymore, I don't think. And we'll say var is underscore jumping. And then we're going to set this equal to false by default. And then here, we're going to set it equal to is underscore jumping equals true, just like that. And then we're going to add that. Obviously, I need to like make a flag. So this, and not is underscore jumping. So that way you can't double jump, right? You have to wait till you hit the ground. And then so we're gonna make, basically in here, in jump, we're going to make it decrease our velocity if we are. So now we'll say if underscore is underscore jumping pass. And here is where we're gonna decrement our velocity. You know, also another thing is that there's a lot to unpack here. Isn't Jump Force a game? Okay, so let me just again explain myself. So when we jump, I want there to make note of where the ground is and not just fall right on that ground, right? But instead, if I jump and then let's say I move during my jump, the ground will follow me just so I know that I'm following the correct amount of space. So I can jump here and fall back down here, also move, go up here, jump and go back up there, down in there. I can go up here and then jumping down there. But then, like, let's say I'm down here and I jump, and then I also move the arrow keys, then I can go like this, and then jump, and then while I fall, I'll fall like that, right? So that's kind of that, but we'll see. I don't know if we're gonna get there because it seems like kind of a complex thing to do, honestly, and I want to get to some of the other questions, and people are leaving, and I want to go get bagels. So if is jumping pass. If is jumping pass. What do we want to do when we are jumping? We want to decrement our velocity. So say velocity dot y minus equals 100, or no, plus equals 100. That'll be like our gravity essentially. And then we'll just kind of like check if our position.y is equal to our ground. We also want our ground position to move based upon, so we'll say ground plus equals, because it's remember it's just a vector 2, plus equals our velocity, plus equals velocity. So I actually want to put this here instead. Okay, so that way it doesn't do it the first time. But then, so we want to do is then right now, so essentially the ground is going to move wherever we're moving whenever this jump is not being called, right? Okay, and then I kind of want, it'd be nice if we could like visualize where the ground is. Is jumping ground plus equals velocity. Ah, that's going to be problematic. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. I think I'm going to have to make a separate velocity for jumping velocity, which we're going to have to just do here. So we're just going to have to do plus jump velocity. Okay, and then I'll just define that up here. Bar jump velocity, vector 2, right? I guess we need to actually set that as something. Equals vector 2 dot 0. Okay, equals vector 2 dot 0. Jump velocity. No, not plus equals. Okay. Velocity equals plus jump velocity. And then here, it's typically going to be 0. And then here we're going to say, it's going to be again, jump velocity. Jump velocity dot y. Yeah. Okay. Okie dokie. Okie dokie, Denny. Minus equals 100. No, plus equals 100. Plus equals 100. Okay. So, we've got the jump velocity. When we do this, we're going to be adding our jump velocity constantly, right? This is going to happen. Oh, but then that's going to happen consistently, and that's a problem, isn't it? Let's change this to fall velocity. Okay. Ground plus equals velocity. Fall velocity plus equals 100, right? So we want to keep doing that until we get to our ground position. So now we'll say in here, if global position, say dot y dot, we can say global position dot distance to ground. Yeah, there we go. So if the distance to ground here is less than, oh, so we don't even really need the flag, it's jumping. But anyway, if is jumping, if distance to ground is less than, what scale are we at? 1920 by 1080? So like 10, right? Is less than 10. Then we're gonna say is underscore jumping equals false, right? And then we're gonna say fall velocity equals vector 2 dot 0. All right, definitely not gonna work the first time, but I would love to know where the ground is. So we're jumping, but we're not falling here. Let's do this. Whoa, okay. Oh, I see. That's because yeah, that's because this is happening. So we need to say here velocity plus fall velocity. Okay, yeah, so he's falling, but then there's nothing to stop him from falling. Oh, nope. Global position dot distance to ground. Let's do prints global position ground. We'll just do that for right now. Whoa, see, that's weird. So the idea is that the ground should be moving at this. The ground should be moving at the same rate we are. So the ground should be directly below us. Let's actually add a sprite. Okay, and then this is gonna be, we're gonna call this our ground. So we can visualize exactly what's happening. And then this will be a shadow. So let me just go in here. Make that invisible. So ground here, and then I'm gonna go to visibility, and we're gonna make this black. Oh, no, we want the alpha. Okay, and then we're gonna do this, okay, and then we're gonna make the ground do that. Okay, that's gonna be our shadow, supposedly. Oh, we could even actually do a little bit of these. Right, so then it does kind of look like a shadow, and then when we jump, we want the shadow to then stay grounded. It is definitely just weird to me. Huh. So we're climbing, which shouldn't happen. We should be able to stay in the same place. This is definitely weird. Distance to ground. Because our velocity... Oh. I see. So we actually don't want to add our velocity. We want to add our input vector. Our input vector. Ground plus equals input vector times acceleration? Yeah. Right. Whoa. Because this should be ground plus equals vector 2.0, because acceleration or input vector right now is 0. So if we print ground, right? Whoa, I just had some crazy deja vu, like I've definitely been here before. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I think this is definitely the way to do it. I just don't know why I can't currently figure this the fuck out. So if ground equals that. Well, I mean, all right, so here, let's just do this for first, right? And then this should work, right? No, why is that not working? Oh, that's why, because we're defining this constantly. Oh my God, okay. So we're saying ground equals, we need ground to exist outside of this. Bar ground equals, we can do vector 2. Okay, and then what we need to do is right here, when we say when we actually jump, we want to say that ground equals global position. So that way we're just marking it once, right? Now let's see. Okay. Now that still broke, but the good news is this is working. Okay, and then here we want to do sprite dot global position equals ground. Okay, and then we can wait, what? Oh, is it because this is a duplicate? Oh no, that's the wrong one. We want ground. Oh, I'm a dumbass. Okay, sorry. Ground. There we go. Very interesting. So the ground should not be moving. If we do this, it's still moving up. So this doesn't have anything to do with it. Because ground should just be, like, if we print ground this whole time. Yeah, ground is the same thing. So it's definitely very, very weird to me that if we do this, right, ground dot gold position. Oh, you know what? We don't need to get closer to the ground, man. We just need a certain amount to fall. All right, here's how we're gonna do this, right? We can literally separate the concept of falling from distance and just make it something, right? So we can just make it a number, and we can say, so is jumping true? And then what we'll do is I'll say, rather than ground, I guess I still do want ground, because I mean, I don't understand currently why this doesn't work, but we do want that, but we don't need this anymore. Okay, fall velocity dot y plus equals 100, and that's cool. But then what we want to do is, while this is true, so we're going to make a var fall underscore amount, and then we'll set this equal to 0, right? This is always going to be an int. And then we can make it like, so here we'll say fall amount plus equals 10, let's say, or we'll do 20, right? And then is jumping here. Well, so how many frames do we need to fall for? That we can figure that out later. But the point here is that rather than doing this, what we're going to do is we're going to say right here, we'll say fall amount minus equals 1, right? And then here we're going to say this is actually going to work pretty great. Okay, yeah, and then we say if fall amount is less than or equal to 0, is jumping false. Fall amount equals 0. All right. Yeah. So yeah, so now we can do this. Oh, that's weird though. Oh yeah, that's just because we haven't like actually calculated the amount we really need to fall. Because we have to like somehow figure that out. But the good news is now that I don't know. There's a lot of work to be done here. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and move on because I don't know, man. This is like, this should work. I mean, I'm kind of, not this exact setup, but essentially you have a ground that you have moving, right? And then so you come back to that. So you have a theoretical ground that's always following you. We can just do the scale real quick, just so you can see what I'm talking about here. Is then we can say, for instance, so we'll say fall max, constant fall underscore max equals 20, right? Let's say. So then here, rather than say plus equals fall, so here we'll say fall max, and then we're gonna say, do I have a sprite on ready bar? No. So we'll just do it this way. We'll say sprite dot scale equals so the scale is 2, 2. Okay. So sprite.scale equals vector 2, 2, 2, right? And then we're going to multiply it times some amount here. So we can do lerp, so from to by. So we're going to do our okay, so we want our final variant to be, so we want to do vector 2 dot 1 1, and then actually this should be 1 1. Yeah, we can just do it this way, and this will be 2 2, and then by is going to be the amount we do it by. So we'll do fall max divided by fall amount. What? Okay, that was crazy, dude. Fall max divided by fall amount, because this should never be less than 0. This should, fall max should be 20, right? And then, oh no, because this needs to be fall amount divided by fall max. But this is still going to hit a 0 error, I think, unless we put this right there. All right. Interesting. Why do that not work? Huh. Fall max divided by fall amount. It's getting a division by 0 error. Gonna output. So the number somehow got fucking bigger, dude. If fall max is 20, why is this blowing my mind right now? If fall max is 20, right, we want to divide by a number between 1 and 20. And then, so if it's 20 divided by, no, we do want fall amount. Oh, that's why. Because one of these has to be a float. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. I didn't even see if the scale was working. Okay, yeah, so that's the opposite of what we want, right? So here we just do 2, 2. Here we do 1, 1. Yeah, so then it looks like it's bigger when it comes at you and whatnot. Okay, then we also need to go by default and set the sprite here to 1, 1. Okay, and then the gun sprite. That's gonna be a problem. All right, then let's do this. Rather than that, let's go 2, 2, 3, 3. Yeah, anyway, so that should look like he's kind of getting bigger as he jumps like that. Now, the other thing is, so that means he's coming towards you, right? But if you want to make him smaller, then he would be going away from you, which might be what you want to do. I don't know. But the idea here is that we need, when he jumps, it needs to feel like he's jumping. Then we also need like him to actually like know where the ground is. So right now that's not currently working. There's a lot of issues with that. I don't really still understand though why this doesn't work. So we do ground. So ground equals, let's do ground dot global position. Somehow is going down right now. Ground dot global position equals ground. Okay, not doing anything crazy, right? We're just saying ground equals ground. We're setting ground there, right? And then up here, that means nothing, right? So if we print ground, it should be the same number the whole time. So it's the same number the whole time, but somehow it's moving. Oh, I have no idea why that's happening, but all right. Interesting. So this actually needs to be bigger. I don't know if there's a way to like actually make this 1-to-1 with how much distance you need to fall. Maybe we can divide it by the jump force or something. That's pretty close. Definitely not correct, but because see, if we run sideways, it's weird because if you do this, it's pretty good, right? But if we do run sideways, we fall, which shouldn't happen, right? Interesting. Very interesting. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there because I want to get on with some other stuff and it's getting a little boring. But I'm going to push this, and I think that you kind of just need, maybe I'll even flesh this out in another video, because this is an interesting concept, right? Is that we're trying to make a relative ground that follows the character, and then so you'll always land on that relative ground, and stuff like that. But yeah, I think there's a lot to that. That's actually not a simple thing to do. So yeah, I mean, good question, man. But yeah, we're going to say that one is relatively done. All right. All right, Flame Wizard, have you created add-ons? Okay. Show how to instance the scene in the infinite background. Infinite background, I would love to create a presentation app with this. I don't know how to get this done. Could you show how to create instances of scenes on an infinite background? I'm very confused about what that means. Yeah, man, sorry about not being able to like finish that off, but I think the idea is there, because that's the main challenge, right, is doing something like that. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. So, the problem with this is like, there's a lot of things I'm thinking because I don't know what you mean by infinite background, right? Do you mean like a parallax background that keeps going? How do you create instances of scenes on an infinite? I think that might be what he's talking about, which, so like if we kind of look at like Google Chrome Dino dinosaur game. Can you play this? How the hell do I play?
We don't care.
Yeah, you guys can go. What? I'll be done by the time we get back. You're not gonna eat there, are you? You want to eat there? Can you just talk, dude? I'm busy.
I thought you were coming with us. It's just gonna be me and Santiago going now because Anne
Bailed.
stressed out. But I am picking up her bagel and dropping it off.
Yeah, just come back here then. It's okay. Yeah, it's up there. All right. How the hell do I play this? Why can't I play the game? Oh, press down to dunk. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I think this is what he was talking about, right? And then like, so we can spawn stuff like that. I assume that this is what he's talking about. But I don't know why you'd want this for a presentation. I don't know. But yeah, I assume that's what he's talking about. So, the whole point, right, is that what you can do is you can actually make a parallax background layer, like something like that, right? Just go open up Affinity Designer real quick. And just make a quick, simple little background. Command new, just gonna say 1920 by 1080. Create, and then I'm just gonna grab this. This is gonna be our ground here. Go to Mecca. Make it like a groundy color. Okay, and then we'll just give it a little character here. Right, so it's ground now, eh? Right? Doesn't it just reek ground to you? Okay, there's our ground. And then we want to be able to run along said ground. Right? Cool. Okay, and then oh, we don't want to save it though. I'm gonna Command Shift save it there, and then we'll save it to, I don't know if, because I really would love it if he's here. It doesn't seem like he's here. But now I'm not gonna do this. I'm not going to do this because it's gonna make things very difficult. So essentially, if you're trying, he's not here, so I don't know if even that I'm addressing his questions. But to do that, you get a parallax background that just keeps going. It's very simple to do, right? You add a canvas layer, canvas layer, and then you add a parallax background, like that, and then you just have this scroll, right? So if we go here and we go to scroll, you can change the scroll, and then you go to, there should be one called mirror. Ignore camera Z layer, transform. I don't see where mirror is. Maybe it's on the only the node 2D, but it mirrors itself, so it keeps going. And then what you would do, so for instance, if you're scrolling down on a presentation, yeah, I'd love it if he was here because I have no idea. Yeah, you would just then, like, based on your amount of position traveled, you can then spawn new items in. If you're talking about things leaving the screen, right, you can delete things that leave the screen. There's a lot of ways that you could get that done. But, you know, without him being here, I can't really answer that question. unfortunately. Arpuya. Okay. I tried to make a checkpoint system, but I couldn't figure out how to do it like I wanted. Basically, what I wanted was if I have multiple checkpoints in a scene and then reload the current scene after a death, for example, I want to be the checkpoints I already have activated not to be activatable again. Okay. Let's read that one again. If I have multiple and then reload the current scene after a death, for example, I wanted to be the checkpoints I already had. I want the checkpoints I already had to be activated. Oh my god. I don't, Arpuya, if you're here, could you, try writing this again? Because I don't really know what you're trying to say. Basically what I wanted to was if I have multiple checkpoints in a scene, then reload the current scene after a death, for example, this is the part, I wanted to be the checkpoints I already had activated to not be activatable again. I don't understand what this, I wanted to be the checkpoints I already had activated. Like, you know, I just don't, I don't know what you're trying to say. But like, so for instance, if we add sprite, I'll try and make like a little checkpoint system and then you tell me what's up with that checkpoint system that you don't want, right? So we'll go ahead and I'll save this scene. Oh my God. Okay. So we're gonna make a new fake top-down state machine switch camera. Okay, we're gonna make a new folder here, and this is gonna be checkpoints like that, and then we'll save this here. Okay, so then this is gonna be called checkpoint. Okay, and then for this, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna save this as a scene, save branch as scene, QA sessions, QA8, checkpoints, node 2D. So we're gonna call this the checkpoint scene, okay? And I'm gonna add we'll go into here, and I'll add a script. Okay, and the first thing I'm gonna do is say export bar. Export bar checkpoint equals 0, okay? Cool. And then, so we've got this, and then now we can say which checkpoint it is. And then I'm going to, of course, go to icon like this, and then drag this into the texture here, and then we'll go to visibility, modulate, make these nice and red. I think we can go to the raws actually and just crank that. There we go, beautiful. Okay, so that's gonna be our checkpoint. I'll even actually go to the alpha value and bring that down a little bit so it's kind of partially visible. Cool. And we'll come in here. So we'll have this checkpoint, and we can put this checkpoint like over here, and we can make another checkpoint, put it over here, another checkpoint, and put it over, oopsies, and put it over here, right? And then we'll go to this one, and I'll say this is gonna be checkpoint 1, this is gonna be checkpoint 2, and this will be checkpoint 0. Okay, so now we've got 3 checkpoints. Okay, I have to go back to earlier. I don't want to be able to activate it and respawn there. I don't know what you mean by activate, I guess is my problem, right? So I think he wants a simple checkpoint system. When you hit a checkpoint, you respawn there when you die. Okay, yeah, all right, yeah. So that's yeah. So we essentially would have like on any, so we'll call this level 1, right? And then we'll add a script to this. And then we'll say var current underscore checkpoint equals 0. Okay. I'll say function underscore ready, and then we'll do var player underscore tscm equals preload, and then go right here, player, got the basic player scene, put them right here, right? And then, yeah, we'll do this. All right, so we're gonna say var player underscore instance. I don't know why I keep thinking it's gonna ins equals player scene dot instance. Okay, and then we're gonna say so we are the parents. So we can just say add underscore child player instance, and then here what we're gonna say is player instance dot global position. Well, I guess you'd need to. You could have like a box called checkpoints, for instance. I mean, there's a lot of ways you could do it. You could actually like physically have the checkpoints like this. I have a checkpoint system that's a little different where I actually just it's a dictionary, right? So it's a dictionary of positions. So it'll be like checkpoints, and then this should be a var, right? And then I have this equal to this, and then I'd say like checkpoint 1, and then I would have vector 2 dot whatever the position of this one is. So like something like that, right? So if this one transform here is 168.86, then obviously we'd put 168.86. And then so we'd say current checkpoint, and we'd say if current checkpoint is say 0, so spawn at our current checkpoint, right? And then if you get to the second checkpoint, then you simply add this to that. But I don't know, this will work just fine. So then what we'll do is we'll get our checkpoints. So I think what we'll do here is add a node 2D, and we'll call this checkpoints. Okay, and I'm gonna take all these guys and add them as a child of checkpoints. And then I'm gonna go here to the Z index and just make sure this is -1, so our player is going to be on top. So now we've got those checkpoints. And then the way we're actually gonna bring them into here is we're gonna say var checkpoints, right, equals, and then we'll get, well, actually we need to do it a little bit differently because we need to do it in the ready function. So say var checkpoints. Okay, and then in the ready function, yeah, see, I don't know. There's a lot of ways to do this, but so var checkpoints equals them.get children, and then we want to cycle through. So we'll say checkpoints equals checkpoints.get underscore children. Okay, and then in the ready function, I'll say checkpoints what's the, yeah, okay, so then what we'll do here is say for checkpoint. See, that's why I would like to make a dictionary, because now we're gonna have to iterate over all the checkpoints. So for checkpoint in checkpoints, right? So for checkpoint in checkpoints, say if checkpoint dot so if checkpoint dot checkpoint equals current. Why are you doing this to me, dude? Why are you doing this? Unexpected assign. Oh, okay. Equals current. Now work, please. There we go. Current checkpoint. Then we're gonna say player instead of go position equals checkpoint dot global underscore position. and then we're gonna say break. Okay. And that should just about do it. So, yeah, basically that's it. All right. Yeah, I feel what you're saying, right? So you want to get like you want to get which is the current checkpoint, right? And then so this is information, of course, if you wanted to, you'd have to save in a file as well. But just for the current gameplay loop, you could, for instance, we'll start at 0. So if I run this, I should spawn. Oh, this needs to be on ready. Okay. So now I'm at checkpoint 0, right? And then if I change this to checkpoint 1, and then I do it, now I'm going to be at checkpoint 1, and then if I change this to checkpoint 2, right? And then, so we'll go back to 0. Now we can actually make this dynamic. We'll go into this here. I'm going to add an area 2D here, right? And then to that, again, we're going to add a collision shape. And then this is going to be a circle shape. And then we'll just make that circle shape about as big as that is right there. Okay, and then we're just going to connect our area entered signal right there. Now let's go ahead and make sure that what layer is our player on. So go here, inspector, and then go to collision layers. We are on the first layer, which is cool. So then we want to make sure that this can go to collisions. We want to make sure that it is going to mask for that layer. Sounds good. All right. And then so if anything enters, we're going to go ahead and say this. So we're going to make a signal here, say emit, or no, I'm sorry, signal check point underscore entered, right? And then this is going to be checkpoint, right? And then so what we're going to do is then just say emit signal checkpoint entered, and then we're going to say checkpoint. Right, and so this is an export var. So now if we go back to these nodes here, and then we can go and see that we now have checkpoint entered, right? So we can go here, and we can go to level 1, right? I'm going to change this to, so let's just say on checkpoint. So on checkpoint entered. Okay, I'm going to save that. We'll hit connect there, and then we're going to do the same thing here. Okay, so these are all going to connect to the same function. Like that. All right, CP. So now we have the checkpoint. And now what we want to do is just say current checkpoint equals CP, right? Just like that. And then I need to make some way to kill the player. So I'm just going to say function underscore input, input if event dot is action pressed mouse click sure. Then we should actually get, oh yeah, we can do this. We can say player, no, we can't do that. We could do this though. No, that's cheating. Okay, so no ins. Okay, so we say player underscore ins dot q. Why do you do these to me? Okay, q free. So and then we want to just spawn the player again. So. In fact, I'll even just make a function. Spawn player. Okay, and then we just got this. Okay, and we call spawn player there. Okay. So we make an instance and we do this. Okay, and so here we're just gonna say spawn player. And now if I run the scene, so if I go here and then I spawn, I'll spawn there. But now if I go over here, okay, and I've entered that checkpoint. Oh wait, then it's clearly, oh wait. So it's not triggering the area entered signal for some reason. It's weird. Are they inactive or something? Monitoring, monitorable. We're monitoring for those layers. The basic player. Oh, it's because I used the area entered signal. Someone say that? Nope. Because this needs to be body entered, not area entered. All right, cool. Now we do this. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So then if I go to this one, then I'll spawn at that system, as you can see, right? So it's gonna do that, and then unless I go all the way back to this one, then now I spawn at that one, right? But then if I go to this checkpoint, I go to that one. So I think that answers your question. If you're also saying like I want to make sure that you can't, like if I go back to an earlier, okay, if I go back to an earlier checkpoint in the level, I don't want to be able to activate it and respawn there. Okay, so you got this system down, but what you're talking about also is that like. So what we would do here is we would say, whenever we add a checkpoint, right? So we'd say, we could add a list here, say var past. Oh no, we don't even have to do that, because if you're doing it by numbers like I am here, right? What you could say is that if CP is greater than current checkpoint, then you do that. Oh, okay. There you go. All right. So now, if we do this, it's going to respawn. If I do this, it's going to respawn there, right? But if I go back to here, it's still going to spawn me there. And if I go back to this checkpoint, now I'll spawn there. And no matter what I do, even if I go here, I'm going to spawn there again. So that makes it so you have to spawn at the highest checkpoint. Okay, cool. So that's pretty much it. You would just make a system like that. Like you have to make that the checkpoint that you're entering has to be greater than the current checkpoint in order for you to then assign that as the next current checkpoint. And then, as we said, you just spawn the player at the current checkpoint. Now, the only thing that is not good about the system is that we are consistent, or every single time that we do this, essentially, we go to those checkpoints and, well, here, I'll tell you how I would do this in reality, right? As I would say, for checkpoint and checkpoints. All right, I would do this. For checkpoint and checkpoints, if checkpoint, now we're not even going to do a check. We're going to say, well, we need to make, so, I'll make a new variable, var, no, never mind. I'm not going to do it. I'll do it. Okay. Why not? CP nodes. Okay. Place all. Okay. So for checkpoint in there. So for checkpoint and CP nodes, now we're going to make another var called checkpoints. Set this equal to a dictionary there. All right. And then we're going to do for checkpoint and checkpoints, we're going to say checkpoints. And then we're going to say checkpoint dot global. I don't know. This is going to be checkpoint dot checkpoint. And then we're going to say equals checkpoint dot global underscore position, like that. And then now if we print checkpoints, I don't quite understand. There we go. we're gonna get an error, but I think, this should still be. Okay. Cool. All right, so now you've got all of those, right? So now you've got them as they are. So then rather than having to do this, we would set, like, all we'd have to do is say, for instance, player instance dot global position equals checkpoints dot get current checkpoint. Okay, so that worked. You go here, now I spawn there. There you go. Perfect. Yeah, so that's probably how if you're going to do this node structure for checkpoints, that's how I would do it, like that. I would typically, I mean, it's honestly not a bad way to do it, right? The only problem is, like, yeah, this is fine. You could also make this a tool script, right? So you can make checkpoints store that information. So every time you add a child, you can make this a tool script that then, like, is constantly recreating this checkpoints as a dictionary, and then we can just we can query the checkpoints script. Like, you know, there's better ways to do it. But yeah, so hopefully this works for you. So then just to kind of clean up the script there, you essentially got this. I'll do a quick walkthrough explanation. So we've got a variable current checkpoint, says which checkpoint we are using. This is our player scene, so we can spawn the player. Player instance, this is kind of dirty. This is just so I can kill the player with a command, right? You can basically ignore that for your script. At ready, what we're going to do is we're going to go into our checkpoint. We're going to get all the children. Because we've set them with export variables, we know which checkpoint they are. That one's 0, this one's 2, and this one is checkpoint number 1. So what we're going to do is create then a dictionary of checkpoints like this. So checkpoint number 0 at this position, checkpoint number 1, this position. And then in spawn player, we simply set the goal position equal checkpoints.get current checkpoint. Okay, now every time we enter one of these checkpoints, it's going to send a signal to this main script, which is then going to say if checkpoint is greater than current checkpoint, then current checkpoint equals CP. So this depends on you making sure that if a checkpoint is further along developmentally in a level, that checkpoint's number has to be higher, right? And as long as you do that, this should work just great for you. And then you can save that. You just save the current checkpoint in a save file, and then you know which checkpoint you're going to spawn at. Yeah, so there's that. And not gonna lie, I'm hungry as hell. Okay. Okie dokie. Push origin. Very cool. All right. A basic overview of 2D normal maps. Yes, I can, good sir. Yes, I can. So, how to use them, stuff like that. I think what I do want to do is open up again Solenoid, because that's a project I used normal maps a lot for. So if we go to Godot Jam, project files, and then open up the project. Okay, so basically how they're used in Godot, let's go ahead and do player scene here. Okay, now normal maps work using Godot's built-in lighting system and also these actual structures called normal maps. So we go to a sprite. So this is my main sprite. And as you can see right here, I've got a normal map texture, which looks like this. And I'll show you how I get those and how you make those in a second, right? So we've got this portal animated sprite. I think these ones don't have normal maps, but there's a way of getting around that if you want to use animated things with normal maps. But anyway, the basic thing is this. You've got a sprite, and then you've got this normal map right here. Okay? And then light, based on, I think, we do actually have lights. These line trails that I made here, these do have lights, but typically you're going to experience the lights in the environment. So actually right here in the center, this whole background has a normal map on it, and these two lights, what happens is that you can see that the normal maps light up that part. If we go back into play and we look at this, you can see that if I go over here where there's not really any light, it just looks like a flat thing. But if I go back over here to where there's light, right, you can see that the light is hitting parts of my ship here. It's hitting this part right now. If I go this way, it's gonna hit that part and stuff like that. So that's how the normal maps basically work, right? And then you just have to have those light things. Now, something I really don't like about it is that the lights, so if we go to, maybe I put it as crystal, yeah, I do. If you go look at this light object, right, the direction of the glow is dependent upon where the offset is, right? So like if you're on this side, the glow is not going to hit you. I don't know. It's hard to explain. You kind of have to just mess around with it. But the glow, it's really hard to actually make the light hit the side of the ship you want it to hit. At least as it is now. I don't know why that is, but maybe if someone knows them better, that's been my experience. All right. Okay, yeah, and then you can change the height and stuff. So this is just a light. I just used this typical diffuse texture that I made, really bright, and then shines out like that. It's a really easy thing to do. Now, there's a program. It's called Lighter. It's a free program by a guy named Azayaga. There you go. And so this program, basically you just import any kind of 2D texture, and then we'll simply go here and we'll look, what does the normal map look like, right? And then we can go to preview, and then you can go ahead and drag this around and see what that preview is going to look like. And you can literally just drag and drop like basically anything in here. So I think it's this one. No, that's the export. So we want to do this for the import, and then we'll choose like some random thing that I've got. Let's go to Redbubble. I guess this will work. So we're gonna do this PNG. All right. I can see, so here's this garbage can, right? And then if we go over to the normal map, we can see what that's looking like, and then we can mess with, I feel like tune, I don't know. I don't know what that does. But these are typically what I mess with. I don't quite know why. There we go, okay. So you can change the height and stuff like that, so that can make things more or less defined like that. You can change the softness you want. So I probably want like a, not too soft because this is metal, but a little bit of softness. All right. You can change the bump height and stuff like that. For this one, I'm going to put it all the way down. Distance, I don't know, leave that. And then softness, again, this is a different softness. I think because height is at 0 here. Oh, that's, okay. Yes, this is just for the byte, so that doesn't even matter. We'll turn that off right now, and then you can change this for the actual lines here. Yeah, I thought this should be. Yeah, there we go. Very, very cool. And then we can change the height here as you wish. Whoa. So all the way up, you got that. A little more down, something like that. Okay, and then again, we'll go back to our preview. Oh yeah, because it's in tune mode, so it's gonna look like a tune. But you can see that if I'm like here, it's gonna do that. Let's go to take tune mode off. So this is like regular normal maps, and you can see how that affects that there. Right, and so you can see that it makes it look like much more 3D. Obviously this is not the best thing, but that's essentially how it works, right? And then you can just export this as need be. And then, so typically what I'll do sometimes, yeah, you save the normal map from there and it saves with transparency. So let's open that up again. So if I go here, you just click this and then you just do, oh yes, this, I think you had to do invert normal Y. So just leave normal, don't mess with any of these. And then I think for Godot, because Godot does this, you have to do invert normal Y. And then I think you should be good. And then here, yeah, you just leave this one. And that's it. And then that's how you export. Azayaga, I think this is an older version. This is a guy, Azayaga, who made this. And it's free on itch.io. I mean, let's just do Lighter by Azayaga, itch.io. I'll go ahead and just pop this one in here. Yeah, and it's, no, he didn't make it in Godot, but it's awesome. So he's got the demonstration. He'll probably tell you some more information than I did. I kind of just figured it out. But yeah, I mean, here's a good, it's not gonna zoom in for me. Why? There we go, okay. Whoa. So yeah, so you can see like what kind of effects you can achieve here that just kind of make things look a little more 3D, which is cool. And yeah, so that's all there. Oh, look at that, there's me! Did I put it in there? I don't know if that actually went through, but yeah, okie dokie. Alright, so I call that a success. Alright, so that seems to be all the questions. I think someone asked a question in chat that I kind of like skipped by, so I'm gonna go see if that is still there. If anyone has questions, drop them here or submit them on the Google form. Harpuya, do you need a Q&A yourself? Yeah, I did. I did need a Q&A. How to show a pop-up? Oh, how to show a pop-up window with a button after a level complete? I mean, that's a little basic, but I'll go over that quickly. Just until my girlfriend gets home. Let's go back down to the bottom. Anyone leave a question? Yeah, okay. So, pop-ups are, I mean, I actually have more experience with user interface at this point than almost anything else in the game because they're so frustrating. In Godot, I think they're making them better, but typically I use my own, I build my own things from scratch using just a basic control node rather than using anything they have. That's just how because there's so many limitations with what they have. But if you're looking for basic stuff, it's helpful. So here, for instance, we'll add a pop-up. And then all we'd have to do is like, whenever you beat the level, right, you'd have a signal. So like if you entered some area and that meant that you beat the level, we would then connect that signal to pop-up and then say show pop-up. Or you could even say on ready for pop-up, get that, and then we would just say show pop-up. And then all you'd have to do here, if we do this, we can add a panel container, something like that. And then I'll make this a little bigger here. And then what we'll do is within here, I'll add a like VBox container, something like that. I'll add a label, and then here I'll say congratulations, right? And then we'll also add a button right there, and then here we'll say next level, and then I mean that's basically it. And then when you click the button would then have like we'd add the button press signal and we connect that to the pop-up or wherever you want to connect that to, and then on that you would do just simply get tree.change scene, and I'll write it out, but it's something that's like kind of everywhere, right? So you say, for instance here, say get underscore tree dot change scene, and then you literally just get the path to the new scene. It's like you'd get like any other Godot scene, and then you just go and drag that in right there, and then this will change to that scene. Now obviously you want to make like a transitioner. I don't think I ever uploaded my transitioner, but there's tons of ways you can make it transition, but that's how you change the level. That's gonna be about it for me today. So thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, that's about it, man. I mean, I will probably do another one of these and be a little more fresh next week, or I think I've got one scheduled. We can go ahead and look at the schedule here. I'll tell you when my next one is. Okay. Here we go. No, that's today. Here we go. November 23rd, I'll be doing another one. So yeah, and I should not be as rigid by then. Also, if you haven't already, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I am going to go ahead and finish up that Godot live stream things that'll work. And then in my next live streams, you'll be able to earn experience, then customize your little like character there. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks, Harpuya. Thank you guys for anyone who asked a question. Make sure you go and participate in the Godot Jam. It's really, really awesome. We have t-shirts and stuff now, which you can buy if you want. But the Godot Jam, I definitely recommend competing in. I think it's a week long this time. And it is really just a great way to gain experience. We've got a really nice community. We're actually going to stream basically all the games that are submitted, so you can see people play your game. You can get live, real feedback on your games, and you know, most of the people who are going to be doing that are experienced and can actually like give you some tips, which is cool. And it's just a good, it's a good first game jam. You don't have to be amazing to make a game for this game jam. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and stay safe.